but who better than me?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, but more importantly, welcome back to the end of year awards with your host, BaseDaKID. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It is appreciated. Now, this is always my favorite one to do every year. It's also the longest video that takes me to do, so I appreciate anyone that does actually watch it, because this isn't a short process. That being said, 10 knockouts. It should only really be 5, but as I did last year, I decided to go with 10 because some of them you just have to see. Now, what I'm also going to do this year, I want to give out some honorable mentions. And these knockouts, or these fights I should say, the only reason they don't make the list is because even though the knockout was instrumental in the fight ending, it wasn't the final blow. But with that being said, just because they were of a suitable quality, I felt, yeah, it's only right that they get seen. So without further ado, let's get into those.
Well timed, but both went for the left hook. Left hooks. Can't really see it here with the referee, but it lands flush. Was happy to sit down and take a shot. What a left hook, teach perfect.
Yeah, Laura sent it up from that left leg. You could see him bend the body there, look. Crisp, accurate, full power.
So as you can see just from that list that aren't even in consideration, it's bound to be a good one. Pretty cool, right? Now, with that being said, before we get into the top 10, I'm also gonna do another little cheat just by acknowledging a couple of other knockouts which were in very serious contention for this list, but they just missed out, and they haven't been ranked or rated, but I felt they were worthy just for you to see, just for the highlights purposes. So that is Brandon Grouch knocking out Liam Taliva. That's also Jericho O'Quinn with the surprise knockout of the year against Peter McGrail. And also another woman added to the list, Yelissa Guzman knocking out Ramla Ali. Enjoy. Actually, let's add Samuel Antwi versus Mason Cartwright into that mix as well. So my number 10 knockout of the year for 2023 goes to Anthony Joshua for his knockout over Robert Helenius. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, isn't level of competition something that you factor in? And for the most part, that's true. But when we look at it to say it was a Robert Helenius that was brought in on 5 days' notice, it was a Robert Helenius who, for the most part, was actually trying to come and win. And then just for the actual execution of the knockout, the fact that Helenius was even pulling away from the shot and it was still enough to take him out and leave him slumped on the ground, I felt it was worthy of a mention. But again, it is at the lower end of the list, but enjoy.
Here comes over the top.
Look at the feet. He's right on top of Robert Helenius' Wilder. This is why it's the most exciting fight to make in the world of boxing right now. Let me get close.
It was like he walked into the shot.
Right, he's got on Andy. He's pulling away, but that lean back makes you so vulnerable. If you've got an opponent who's willing to pose at this is the lead.
My number 9 knockout of the year goes to Ben Whittaker for his KO victory over Steven Drejaj. Now again, there's levels to this game. Ben Whittaker was clearly over the level of Drejaj, but the execution of the knockout is what basically gets it on the list. It was very reminiscent of Terence Crawford's knockout of David Avanesian from last year, just in the combination that was thrown and the pinpoint execution, and yeah, the fact that it pretty much ended things in an instant. I thought it had to be on the list. So without further ado, take a look.
See that little pause there, little layback.
Tim running in, and that him on the button and then the hook. That's just all buzzing.
Yeah, but you see the little layback here, and that right hand really just steadies it, puts him in position. It's the left hook then that does the damage.
So at number 8, my knockout of the year for 2023 goes to Luis Alberto Lopez for his knockout of Michael Conlan back in May. This one was a little sweet short uppercut on the inside. Conlan tried to throw a shot, dipped down thinking he would avoid a straight right, and ended up walking onto a hellacious short uppercut, which floored him, took him out. Towel came straight in, and that was all she wrote. So without further ado, there you go. In at number 7, my 7th knockout of the year for 2023 goes to Adrian Curiel for his knockout over Sivanati Nonshinga. This was a surprise. It was against the run of play. Nonshinga, very promising IBF champion at light flyweight. Adrian Curiel, every time he had stepped up, he had lost. But also he was 26-4 or something at the time, but he only had 4 KOs to his record. Oh, well, he added to that KO ratio with a special one. It was a punch perfect shot. Nonshinga walked into the trajectory of the right hand off of a very lazy jab. It came over the top of the jab, and yeah, it was straight on the button. Out cold on the ground. I mean, to be fair, he set up fairly comfortably afterwards, but by that time the ref had already waved it off. He was probably able to get to his feet, but she made the right decision because he was in no fit state to continue. Have a look.
Huge upset every time Curiel steps up a level and he has just found the punch of a lifetime of a career there. By a thunderous right hand
In at number 6. So, my 6th best knockout of the year goes to Brian Mendoza for his knockout over the towering Inferno Sebastian Fundora. Now, quite frankly, this was a knockout waiting to happen. Sebastian is way too tall and too wiry to be fighting at super welterweight. But the way that little Czech left hook came in, scrambled the senses, basically buckled him, froze him in his tracks, only to then get stopped by the big overhand right and then left combo on the way down. There was no recovering for Sebastian Fundora, and he hasn't even been back in the ring since. So yeah, it was a great one. Have a look. I hope you enjoy it.
Natty on the button.
So in at number 5, my 5th knockout of the year for 2023 is Jayo Pataya for his knockout over Elisoro. Now, this one doesn't particularly fill me with any great joy. But with that being said, it was punch perfect. It was brutal. And it's very rare that you will see a one-punch knockout like this, not in the heavyweight division, that happens like in the first round or even the first couple. You might see a first round stoppage, but they're very they're never usually as brutal as this, and they normally come after like a sustained amount of beating, or maybe someone that's, you know, had a history of a glass chin or has had a history of violent knockouts where their punch resistance has just gone. Elisoro pretty much is a very fresh opponent. The only reason this doesn't make it higher up the list is because there was quite a significant gulf in class and ability there. So I had to kind of factor that in. But in terms of a one punch stopper, yeah, this is it. So take a look.
Oh, what a shot! What a punch from Opataya! It's over! Left hand over the top, if you like. What a shot that was! Bang on the button. Just when Elisoro had a little bit of success, didn't he, with your right hand here and there. But Jay Opataya stayed on the outside, quick injection of pace, and then whipped the shot around. Bang on the button and calls over.
Now, my number 4 knockout of the year for 2023 is one that maybe a lot of people haven't seen. So, number 4 is Willie Jones for his knockout of Derek Jackson back in February. Now, a lot of people may not have seen it because it was on the prelims of the Sudbriel Matias versus Jeremias Ponce fight. But with that being said, yeah, Willie Jones comes with the short overhand left. It was a short arcing hook which catches Derek Jackson on the top of the head, scrambles his senses. He goes out like a light. You see him twitching on the ground afterwards. It was against the run of play. Derek Jackson was a 10-0 prospect. Willie Jones was at 8-2. You know, I guess maybe not quite prospect at that level, but he was there to test Derek, and Derek didn't pass the test. But have a look.
Oh my word!
And that's the fight right there, Willie Jones.
He was out before he hit the canvas. Jab. See? Oh, so he went jab, and then the guy thought he looks like he's gonna jab, and instead hooks it. Oh.
Looping left hook on the money. And Jackson was out before he even landed.
My number 3 knockout of the year for 2023 goes to Zhang Zhilei for his brutal 3rd round knockout of Joe Joyce in their rematch back in September. I mean, there's not really much else I've got to say about it. The fact that Joe Joyce had the quote-unquote iron chin of the heavyweight division, to get slumped the way he did, to the point where he fell into a sleeping position, arm underneath the chin, like he was ready to just take a nap in the middle of the ring. Credit to Joe Joyce for even being able to get up, and he did get up before the 10 count technically, but it was well after the 8, and the ref knew that he was in no fit state to continue the fight. But yeah, that, you know, that straight left that Zhang threw just to bait Joyce into trying to throw a counter punch, and then catches him with the short right hook on the chin. When you hear it, it sounded like a gun went off. I saw it I wasn't at my seat at the time. I decided to see it from further back in the arena, and you could hear it. You heard the shot over the crowd. That's how nuts it was. I don't even think I used my footage for the video, but yeah, it didn't need it. So without further ado, enjoy. Now, between number 2 and number 1 was very hard. I was going back and forth as to which one I truly felt should have been the number 2 and which one should have won. But I feel confident enough in my choice. So yeah, my number 2 pick for knockout of the year goes to Junto Nakatani for his hellacious overhand right against Andrew Maloney back in May, to win the super flyweight championship. I think it was a WBO version. I mean, look, the way that he probed and he feinted with that, you know, sort of with the jab through the guard just to see if he could get range. Dip low, swings the overhand underneath, you know, the trajectory and the vision of Maloney. Bang on the chin after, again, 10 sort of, I think it was 10 rounds or 11 rounds of a sustained beating at this point in time. Yeah, it was brutal. Like, Maloney's legs folded back underneath him. He had no control over his body at this point. So it was a joy to watch. It was truly like a gun went off in that ring, and I'm glad he was okay afterwards, truly. But take a look. Now, I might get a little bit of stick for this one, but every time I watch this, it fills me with glee. So my number 1 knockout of the year for 2023 goes to Yoenis Tellez for his knockout over Levan Navarro. Look, I know that there were maybe some more high profile guys or maybe some more competitive matchups on this, but what I will say is Tellez, who I believe was only 6-0 at the time, so going on to 7-0. Navarro, I think, was 8-0-1. So they were both undefeated, both sort of in, I guess, that prospect territory. So it was a fairly level, comprehensive fight. It went all the way into the 10th round. It was a competitive fight back and forth, but I don't know who upset the spirits of Yoenis Tellez, but he summoned every ounce of the ancestry power that he possessed, and he threw all of it into that shot. And I think he might have made a pact with the devil as well, because he unleashed hellfire and brimstone in that left hook. I don't think I've seen one that's given me such a visual in quite a while, especially when you see some of the ringside footage and you see how Navarro looks on the ground, almost like he's partially convulsing. It's a very, very unsettling but also joyous thing to behold. So without further ado, take a look. And that is the list. So look, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If I've missed out any that you would have had on there, or if you had any others that you wanted to be 1, 2 or 3, please leave them in the comments, let me know. But for right now, that's the end of the award season. I might do some shorts just with some of the other categories that I haven't made videos for, but we'll see, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. But without saying anything further, I do hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe and share. Again, as I said, that's the Hardcore Casual out.